Hi, 8th grade, this is Mrs. C. Have you ever been reading a book or an article and halfway through it you stop and think to yourself, what am I reading? What is this text about again? Well, today we're going to be using the GIST strategy to help us answer that question. Using the GIST strategy, you'll be able to determine central ideas of an informational text, and you're also going to be able to show your understanding of that text by creating a summary. So what is a gist? It's a funny word. It also means your initial sense of what the text is mostly about. To find the gist, you have to first start by thinking, who or what is this text mostly about? After reading a section of a book or an article, or after reading an article in its entirety, think about who or what the text was mostly about. Then you have to think about what is the most important information about that who or what. Finally, you're going to put those two pieces of information together in 10 to 15 words, and that is going to be your gist. To break it down a little further, after reading a text, you want to think about what person or thing did this text mostly speak about. Then you want to think about what does the text say about that person or thing. And then you're going to put those two first initial points together to create a brief sentence of what you just read. If this sounds very familiar to you, it is because you are basically creating a central idea. And central ideas, when reading a text, helps us understand what it is that we're reading as we're reading it. So here we're going to model the use of the GIST strategy by looking at a model text. This text here is related to the topic of this lesson in day 15, but it is not the text that you're going to be reading, so I'm going to use it to just model the way to use the GIST strategy. So the title says, Upton Sinclair's The Jungle Leads to Meat Inspection Laws. President Theodore Roosevelt signed the Meat Inspection Act into law on June 30th, 1906. This was a big change for the meat packers, the industry that processed animals for food. The act outlawed the sale of contaminated or mislabeled food products. It also stated that livestock, such as cattle, swine, sheep, goats, and horses, had to be killed and processed under clean conditions. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, was required to inspect all livestock before processing, then inspect the food products afterward. Imported meat products also had to pass strict inspections. Previous laws designed to improve food safety had not worked. For example, the Meat Inspection Acts of 1890 and 1891 had not made the meat packers' workplaces safe and clean. So the first thing we're going to think about, who or what was this section of the text about? Or what person or thing are they talking about here? And in this section, they're talking about food processing. So that is something that we keep in mind, that this text is about food process. And what is the most important information about the food processing? Well, it says that it was made illegal to contaminate, to sell contaminated or mislabeled food products, and that the food had to be processed in a way that was clean and safe for all. So here I can write, if you are taking down notes or if you're just taking mental notes, just think about food had to be processed in a clean and safe way for everyone. So now, looking at these two ideas, or thinking about these two ideas, we can create the central idea, or the gist, in 10 to 15 words. So, the food that was processed had to be clean and safely processed for everyone. So this is the main idea of that first section. Again, it is your initial sense of what the text is mostly about, which is why your gists may vary from partner to partner or student to student. So now is going to be your turn to apply the gist strategy. And in this lesson, Day 15, Workplace Conditions and Regulations, Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, you're going to be reading excerpts of Upton Sinclair's book, The Jungle, and as well as the Report on Conditions in the Chicago Stockyards, 1905. Upon reading these excerpts, you are tasked with answering some questions. So reading the excerpts on the slide, you're able to create a text box and just annotate as you go. And it's guaranteed that this gist strategy is going to help you understand what you're reading while you're reading it.